7.2 TNT questions and answers already. Graded A. A student asks, how many ways are there to get this answer? This teacher is getting students to ask questions which builds the students skills. Inquiry. A teacher assessed students and realized they were experiencing difficulty in making inferences. Not only was this a critical reading comprehension skill, but it was also a skill tested on the standardized test. Her objective was, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify details in text and use your own experiences to develop an appropriate inference. Next, she looked at the descriptors related to content when she began to design her lesson. She designed her lesson with several activities. Students were to work in pairs to identify details from the text that connected to the inference. Question asked. She asked, how did you develop your inference? Why was it appropriate? Each student thought of an experience or recalled prior knowledge that connected to the text and then pair/shared with a partner. Each student completed a graphic organizer with this information. Each student wrote the inference and heavy checkmark standards and alignment, dimension 1.1. Knowledge of students, dimension 1.3. Activities, dimension 1.4. Communication, dimension 2.3. 1/2. A teacher created a lesson about butterflies. Before he began, he started with the story, A Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. The students discussed the main ideas, and he then took them on a hunt for caterpillars in the school's yard. They came back to class and drew a picture about the life cycle of a butterfly and wrote a short paragraph explaining their picture. This teacher is using which of the following in his plan? OE scaffolding. A teacher explained to students that the learning objective was to identify the physical characteristics of two characters from a novel and compare and contrast the characteristics. She told the students they were expected to create an illustration of two characters from a novel the class was reading and then complete a Venn diagram to compare the characteristics. She chose two different characters to model her expectations and the thought process she used to decide how to draw the characters. She explained various ways in which students could approach the project and provided clear criteria through use of a rubric for evaluation of the finished project. She led students to apply the rubric to her work as an additional means to ensuring they understood her expected tie-ins for the work. She then modeled how she took the characteristics of the two drawings and used a Venn diagram to organize the similarities and heavy checkmark achieving expectations, dimension 2.1. A teacher presents a lesson and most of the students understand the new concepts. The teacher realizes, however, that 4-5 students have not understood the new concepts. She decides to have the students who understood begin working on the assignment while pulling the students who did, powered by TCPDF, www.tcpdf.org. 2/2.